So it would seem that Nintendo could possibly make the current Nintendo Switch games and future Nintendo Switch games look and run better from what this patent is telling us. You know what that means. It means that games like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which I think needs some help, Pokemon Arceus, and even newer Nintendo Switch games like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, or Tears of the Kingdom, whichever one you want to call it, and Pikmin 4 could end up running and looking better, which is what I really do want on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, I still do want a more powerful Nintendo Switch, I won't lie, but what about you guys? Are you ready for a more powerful Nintendo Switch? Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the RoboChan Show, where we take the gaming news format that channels like Spawnwave or Arlo do, add a dash of animation and some cool editing on top to bring you your gaming news, leaks, and rumors in a fresh new way. If you're new here and want to be kept up on everything gaming, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoy the video and dislike if not. In this video, we are going to talk about the new Nintendo Switch patent that is making the rounds that could mean big things for the future of the current Nintendo Switch, and also give us some hints as to how Nintendo will go about the next Nintendo console, and if Nintendo will ditch the current Nintendo console soon, or wait a bit and then give us that next Nintendo hardware. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, it helps the video reach more viewers when you do, and comment which Zelda game you want ported to the Nintendo Switch. Personally, I would love to play Wind Waker on the Nintendo Switch Portable. I want to play Wind Waker on the beach. My Twitter handle is RoboRob93 as well if you want to follow me on Twitter. Without further delay, let's continue with the video. So the Nintendo Switch is in a very tough and interesting spot right now. Right now, the Nintendo Switch is selling extremely well and currently passed the third most selling console of all time, which is the Game Boy. Yeah, if you guys didn't hear, the Nintendo Switch passed the lifetime sales of the Game Boy and is now the third best selling console of all time. I didn't tell you that was going to be part of the news show, but there's some news for you. It's pretty exciting and pretty cool. I mean, not only that, but it seems like every single Nintendo Switch game that comes out on the console breaks some kind of record. I mean, take for instance the recent news that Animal Crossing New Horizon, which was the best-selling Nintendo Switch game of all time, was recently passed by Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Which, take that news how you will. I don't know if it completely deserves it, but it did happen. Metroid Dread was the best-selling Metroid or Metroid Prime game in any of the games across all of the games that Samus has appeared in her own franchise, of course. And even smaller third-party games and bigger third-party games like Witcher 3 and Doom have found a small home on the Nintendo Switch. Now, the reason why I mention this and what it has to do with the patent is that Nintendo Switch sales are not dropping. The software sales are not dropping. They're actually increasing over past games. Overall, they're pretty strong. Despite many of you guys wanting a new Nintendo Switch, me too, don't get me wrong, we're still buying these games because the games are generally great. So it really does bring up a question for Nintendo. Why would they make a new Switch just yet? Why not somehow prolong the life of the current Nintendo Switch for, say, another 2 years? Now, if you think it would be crazy if Nintendo would do that, take a look at this article that recently popped up. This is fresh news that says that Nintendo is going to be making more Nintendo Switches. According to Bloomberg, Nintendo has informed suppliers and assembly plants to increase production for the next fiscal year. Now, according to this article, that is April 1st, 2023. Now, what's coming out very close to April? The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now, when you factor in the patent that was recently in the news as well, it really paints a picture of Nintendo trying to squeeze as much time on this Nintendo Switch hardware as they can, which is pretty bad news for those who do want a Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo Switch Pro or just the next Nintendo console, or just want to see better performance on the Nintendo Switch. And I just want to put this out there, that's not something that I want to happen. If I had it my way, Nintendo would drop the new Nintendo Switch today. Unfortunately, I don't own Nintendo and I can't control time and space. But if I was Nintendo, I would probably try to prolong the life of a very well-selling system that's also selling software. And it seems that Nintendo could do that with this new patent if it ends up being used in the way that I think it could be used. If you guys haven't heard this yet, it would seem that Nintendo recently put out a patent that is described as an imaging process method for expressing objects with transparency with a low processing load. Now, I'm no computer guru, I don't know too much about that, but from what that sounds like, it sounds like somehow the way the world is going to be rendered, it's going to reduce the load on the Nintendo Switch, making the game overall run and look better. If I'm wrong about that in the comment section below, tell me in the comment section and correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Now, since this patent has come out, it would seem that there is some connections to Tears of the Kingdom and the Zelda franchise. This is what My Nintendo News has to say. It would appear as though Nintendo has been looking for numerous ways to improve the Switch's image quality as the system continues to age. The Nintendo Switch internal hardware has basically remained unchanged since its system launched back in March of 2017. A patent filed by the company in June of 2022 seems to go the way to help improve the system's image quality. The patent could be related to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, since one of its inventors for it is Akashi Miyagi, who has previously worked with sub-director Kentaro on The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and is thought to play a role in the upcoming The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The patent is for an nope, we already read that. Don't want to waste you guys' time. The interesting thing about this patent, aside from the possibility of current Nintendo Switch games running better, is that the picture used is the shapes and objects that you would see throughout The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, it's your basic tower and basic rock formation, but it does look like it points towards Tears of the Kingdom, which would make a lot of sense since the person who is said to be working on The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is also making this patent. Now, if you guys don't care about what this has to do with the next Nintendo Switch console, click the subscribe button, and then you can click this right here, which will give you another cool Nintendo Switch video about the Nintendo Switch backwards compatibility that Nintendo themselves talked about in the Nintendo investor meeting. And if not, let's get speculating. So if this ends up being implemented in the current Nintendo Switch, there is something you do have to ask. Why? Why would Nintendo want games to run better and be less of a burden on the Nintendo Switch if that next Nintendo console is just around the corner? Well, I do have two theories, and the first one is that Nintendo could squeeze out more power in the current Nintendo Switch hardware so that it can live longer alongside the new Nintendo Switch and more easily. This way, they don't have to do the thing they did with the new 3DS and have select games only available on one of the consoles. If you guys remember, there were games like Xenoblade Chronicles 3D that were only available on the 3DS, and I think if you did that on a system that is softly, I don't know why we used the word softly, that's weird, on a system that's fastly approaching the best-selling console of all time, I don't know if it's going to beat the PS2, we'll have to wait and see, but there is a possibility. You wouldn't want to leave all of those players behind on a game that could possibly be a big game just because it couldn't run on the previous hardware. So this could be a way for Nintendo to have the next Nintendo console, which could be a Switch 2 or a Switch Pro, live alongside the current Nintendo Switch model. Or at the very least for a longer time, because we do know that sometimes companies do have the previous console live alongside the new console, just like the PS4 and the PS5, or the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X. Now, the side effect of this is that during the development, you would have to think about the current Nintendo Switch hardware and the new hardware at the same time and make it for both systems. We've seen this be a detriment to a lot of different games, so that is something that could end up being a problem in the future if that's the way they go. And my second theory may not sit right with some people who want a more powerful console. Since the current Nintendo Switch is selling so well, it seems that people are still buying the latest Nintendo Switch game and consoles that are coming out, like the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Nintendo Switch version and maybe potentially that rumored Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom version. Though there are some people who say that is fake, but anyways, why would you bring out a new console right now or even in the next year? From a business perspective, not a player perspective, because if I had my choice, again, I would just have them drop it in the next couple months. And that's why I don't run a company. But if I were a business, I would squeeze a little bit more time on this current Nintendo Switch hardware, squeeze a little bit more games out since they're selling well anyways. From a business perspective, if I were Nintendo, I would just wait a little bit more time, squeeze a little bit more power out of the system for the games that are upcoming, and bring the Nintendo Switch 2 or next Nintendo console to the players and have them both sit side by side in 1 or 2 years. Just like the 3DS and the new 3DS. Nintendo said in the investor meeting that they want backwards compatibility in the next Nintendo console, so them living side by side wouldn't be too far of a stretch, and they also have a track record of having backwards compatibility with a lot of their consoles and handhelds. I mean, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Wii, Wii U, GameCube was playable on the Nintendo Wii. I mean, the Nintendo 3DS was able to play DS games, so why not? But those are just my theories on that. Tell me in the comment section below what you think this means for the future of the Nintendo Switch. Is this going to change the course of the Nintendo Switch, or is it just something that Nintendo's just never going to use? Because that is also a possibility. Nintendo throws out patents all the time that they just don't use. And if not, on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.